And hello all friends, Potato is with you, and this is the 5th part of the guide, according to the Fashion Crete, on version 121. But before you start watching, be sure to subscribe, like, write a comment, click on the bell, and also subscribe to Telegram Discord. There's all the news. Well, we're starting. Next, what we will consider is an analog lever. It is made quite simply from a stick, and also an andesite case. What is this analog lever? This is very similar to an ordinary lever, but with the exception that it can inject an analog signal, that is, not a digital 0-1, but more so varied, that is, from 0 to 15 redstone forces. Let's check it out now. Press the PCM once. Now our glasses show us that there is a force of 1 out of 15, and 1 speck of redstone lights up. We press it a second time, the second speck of stone lights up, and it becomes a little brighter. Well, we can do it up to 15, but we can also reduce. How to do it? Just Shift plus PCM, and thus we have a reduced signal. Next, a smart frame. It is made of a frame and also a brass sheet. What is this smart frame? It's very similar to an ordinary frame. You can put it like this, you can put it like this, and you can put objects in it, and let's try to twist it. Nothing is being done, because you can't twist it here. But we can poke the PCM. Look, we are poking the PCM with our bare hand now. Let's say with turf. Nothing happens. And if we take an iron ingot and poke the PCM, then we will have a signal like this, and a redstone signal will be issued. That is, if we file here, let's check. Opa. This signal is issued for about half a second. Where to use it? Let's say in some pin codes. Then, the redstone pulse repeater. It is made of any stone, redstone torch, brass sheet, and also redstone dust. What is this redstone impulse repeater? Look, when we put it up, there will be 2 ticks here. We can change these ticks. Well, let's say we do 1 second here. Let's put a button here and on it. Here a signal is given, and after a second, here you look like this. The coil lights up, and gives out a pulse. An impulse for 1 tick, probably or so. That is, as if it is enough to activate something. Here we have 40 ticks. We poke the PCM, and now after 2 seconds, here, the coil lights up and gives out an impulse. If there is a lever here, then the momentum will still be the same very fast. Then redstone pulse extenders. It is made of 3 stones, 2 redstone torches, a brass sheet, and also ration dust. This thing is very similar to the previous one, except that it works a little differently. Let's put a redstone here, a lever here, give a signal, and here we have a second, that is 20 ticks. And look, we are giving a signal here, and we will always have this signal, while this lever is active. If we turn it off, then in a second, our coil will go out, and the signal will stop. If there are, let's say, 2 again, we press the lever, the signal immediately arrives. Now we turn it off, wait 2 seconds, and the redstone goes away. Then, the powered lever switch. It is made of 3 stones, a lever, and also redstone torches. Let's put it in the world, and activate it with a lever. Everyone, look now what's going on with us. Here a signal is issued, and it is infinite. That is, here we have, as it were, such a lever activated, because here we gave a signal for this lever, so to speak, and it is infinitely active. Now, if we press the lever again now, that is, we give another signal here, it will turn off. That is, we turn it on. Let's say we would have a button here, again a button, everything is fine. We don't have a signal here, now we do. Very convenient. Replaces the rather bulky mechanisms from the usual Minecraft. Then, the powered lever. It is made of 3 stones, 2 redstone dust particles, a lever, and also a torch ration. This powered lever is very similar to its previous powered switch lever, except that here we can feed as much as we want here at the redstone, and it won't turn off. Then here it turns on from this side. To turn it off, you need to give the ration signal either here or here. Let's do it. It's all off. We serve it here. It doesn't turn on. We serve it here. It turns on. Then, the threshold switch. It makes the sound of a comparator, a brass case, and also an electronic lamp. This threshold switch will help us to read data from chests or any other blocks that can store any information in themselves. Well, in this case it's atoms. That is, look, this threshold switch has, so to speak, the front side where it will read, that is here. We put a chest here, and let's say we put gold here. Now let's go into this threshold switch. Here he shows 3 of these, there are twirlers. We can twist 2 of them, and the third one shows exactly how many items are in our chest right now. That is, look now, and here we have 0. Let's put it here like this somehow, and now here we have a chest full. Now look, from above, we are setting up the threshold, just when this threshold switch will be turned on. That is, if now we lower this arrow to our chest, or even a little lower, it gives us a redstone signal. Because now this chest has shifted down, because this arrow has been reached and thrown down. Now, in order for the ration signal to turn off, we need to set up our arrow here, in which it will show the threshold. Let's say 10%, when it will be up already. That is turn off. That is now, when we leave 10% or less in our chest, it goes up and turns off. This can be done, for example, in such mechanisms where a lot of all sorts of objects enter your chest. And so that it does not overflow, let's say some conveyor belt turns off, or a whole factory starts pumping out items from here. Then, when it has been pumped out to a certain extent, the plant turns on again and pumps everything into the chest. Next, a smart observer. It is made of an electronic lamp, a brass case, and also an observer. The smart observer is very similar to its predecessor, the observer, but now we have a hole filter in it, and in general it is smarter. In general, look, now let's put a chest here and put gold blocks here, let's say. It gives out a signal. What will he do so that he does not give out? This is to take the blocks away from here. That is, when any object arrives here, it immediately gives out a signal. We can also put a filter here. Let's say here, let's give gold. That is, now we see gold here, which means that it reads only gold. Let's put a chest here. It's okay. If there is a gold block, then it gives a signal, even if one piece was put. He can also read not only from chests, but even from the ordinary world, let's say. So we put a gold block here, and a signal is issued. It can also read, for example, from pipelines, even from pipes. If let's put a bucket of water here, and a pipe in front of it, and water will flow into it, then it will give a stone signal. Next, consider a redstone signal transmitter. It is made quite simply from a brass case, and also a walkie-talkie torch. It is done simply, but in fact, it is very, very, very useful. Let's put one thing, and let's say the second one is somewhere here, because they work in pairs, or let's say one gives out a signal there to 10, 20, hundreds of such transmitters. How does it work? They have two modes. Look, if we press Shift plus PCM now, then we will make an appointment. If there is such an antenna, it means to receive. If so, it means to transmit a signal. That is, let's say we have a transmission here, but here let's have a reception. That's it. Now, if we activate it now, then we have a signal transmitted here. But what if we have two receivers, let's say? Here we also have one like this, and we want to, let's say this one is activated, and only this one lights up. But this one does not light up. To do this, they have special filters, namely frequencies. There is frequency 1, frequency 2. These frequencies will allow you in general, probably absolutely endlessly, to create various variations of your mechanisms. Because we can put here, let's say, one speck of dust on the frequency, here also one speck of dust on the frequency, and then they will be connected, and only a signal will be transmitted here. Here, that is, only they are activated. And here, we have a kind of emptiness connection, and here, emptiness. Accordingly, they are the same, and a signal is also transmitted here. This is an extremely convenient thing. It will allow you to greatly reduce the costs of redstone, space, and in general your psyche. In any mechanical business, then, the connection controller. It is made of 6 wooden buttons, and also a generic signal transmitter, and he will work with us in a pair just the same, with growth signal transmitters, namely for reception. Let's imagine such a situation. Here we have a frequency of 1 turf, and here purity is 2 turf. We make them for the reception. That's it. Now look, we're taking the communications controller with you. This is an object that we can hold in our hand. Everything is fine. Press the PCM, and look, we have the following buttons: forward, backward, right, left, space bar, and shift. Here, that is, we have 6 buttons that we can program. How to do it? We press the Shift plus PCM through the air, and then we have just the same tuning of our frequencies activated here. That is, here is frequency 1, frequency 2, that is, this is the forward key. Let's say forward like this, frequency 1. Let's shift. We will have to pull frequency 2. That is, now our 2 of these switches, we poke the PCM, they will be activated. That is, I pressed forward, and this one was activated, pressed out and deactivated. I clicked on the shift, this one was activated. Also, this communication controller can be put on the department. This is the way to approach this department, poke the PCM, and also manage everything very conveniently. To get out, you just need to poke the PCM again. Then, the gas discharge indicator. It is made of 2 electronic lamps. We get as many as 4 pieces. What is a gas discharge indicator? First of all, it can show us how much the power signal ration is being fed to it. Let's say we put an analog lever here. Let's make force 1. He switched to 1. Let's assume a force of 12. He switches to 12. It can be done in this way, let's say, to make the numbering of floors. You can do this. Look, let's put a few gas discharge indicators here, and you simply tag them, and that's it. Now here we have written subscribe. By the way, yes, be sure to subscribe. Then, a redstone lantern made of rose quartz. It is made of polished rose quartz, zinc ingot, and also redstone dust motes. This is a lamp that is activated by pressing, let's say, a button. That is, we give a signal to it. It activates. It begins to glow. How do I turn it off? We press it again, it doesn't turn off. In order to turn it off, you need to put another walkie-talkie lamp next to it and send a signal to it by kinship. And then the adjacent blocks will turn off, and it will turn on itself. That is such an interesting and probably not quite clear thing, because I don't know where to apply it honestly yet. And also, we can put a comparator to the Nemutin, and it will give out a signal of different power, depending on where this lamp will be lit. Then, there is a mechanical scoreboard. It is made of 2 andesite alloys, and also electronic lamps. A mechanical scoreboard is a very interesting and beautiful thing. Firstly, it is, roughly speaking, a multi-block structure. That is, it can work as one, or as such a huge layer. In order for it to work at all, it will need to supply naturally kinetic energy. Let's do more, so that it all turns, and works great. First of all, you can simply display it on this scoreboard using an ordinary tag in this way. Let's say, sign up here, sign up here. That is, there are 2 lines on each scoreboard. Also, you can paint these inscriptions with any dye, let's say some like this, so that everything is beautiful. In fact, the scoreboard can be much more informative with the following device. Namely, it is a transmitter of information. It is made of a redstone torch, a brass body, and also a copper sheet. What is an information transmitter? It can transmit information to any scoreboard or a gas discharge indicator, let's say in general, to where it will be possible to display the text. Let's say we poke the PCM. Let's poke the PCM on the scoreboard. It all stands out for us. That is, now it shows that we will have this scoreboard as an interface for displaying information that will be read by this information reader. It can read information, for example, from a depot. Let's put it in the depot. Successfully linked to the target position is written. That's it. Now let's erase these inscriptions here, just PCM, with an empty hand, and put them here at the depot. Let's say I want potatoes. We put it here, that is, and here. It turned out to be gorgeous. Look, this information counter here has settings. That is, here we can put where it will be, on which line of the 6, because now we have 6 lines there, respectively. Here, we have 6 lines for the elections, where all this will be displayed. We can also choose parameters here, that is, output the name of the item, because the depot only allows us to output the name of the item, and also an additional inscription. Let's say we can write lies here. Everyone, look now what's going on. Here we have written lies, and here we have, in my opinion, a double space. I shouldn't have written a space here, so we check it again. Yes, that is, we are removing it. The potatoes are removed, but they remain there. Let's say we make a gas discharge indicator. Now it will be displayed here. There are gas discharges, and we don't have enough space there, but it is still output. Then, the cuckoo clock. They are made of a board, an andesite case, and also a clock. What is it? A rather useless thing. It is powered from behind with the help of any kinetic energy, and it will be at noon. And also before going to bed, that is, before you can go to bed, the cuckoo here will fly out and cuckoo. Oops. And here the cuckoo comes out of here, such a pig, a cuckoo pig, and signals to us that it's noon. Then, the rod of symmetry. It is made in mechanical assembly, mechanical crafter from obsidian, brass ingot, precision mechanism, ender pearls, and also 3 pieces of glass. It is quite expensive, but this thing is very useful. Look, we can poke the PCM through the air, nothing happens. But we can poke the switch with the PCM through the air, and then we will open the configuration of this rod. It has 3 modes: single, double, triple. Let's look at the single. We can do along Z-axis and along X. Let's make an assumption along Z. We poke the PCM on the ground. There is such a mirror located here. Now we're starting to build something here. And look, it's mirroring. That is, now we have a mirror along the Z-axis. We break here, everything breaks. We break here, it breaks on the other side. Very convenient. We poke the PCM through the air, this thing is removed. Now let's look at the second mode, double. That is, here we also now have the orientation perpendicular and diagonally. Let's make it perpendicular. Poke here, and now look carefully. We put it here, we put it here, we put it here, and it literally sets up other similar blocks in the corners like this. Naturally, you will also spend them, that is, they are not infinite blocks. And finally, the last mode is triple. Here we have only one orientation, it is horizontal. We put a triple, and just watch what happens. They put a block here, they put a block here, they put it here, and it literally grows very beautifully, just like I'm even some kind of builder. That is, in general, to build a circle here on easy. And finally, the most cheater thing in this fashion, which does not craft in any way, is the creative editor of the world. We take this thing in our hands and immediately see that it is something extraterrestrial, so infinite, and not crafting at all. Look, if we click Shift plus PC now, then we will open such a menu. Quite complicated, actually not. This thing will allow you to build, edit the world. That is, here you can build cubes, spheres, cylinders, surfaces, and clusters. Let's say we make a sphere. We can make the sphere radius different up to 10, and from 0. I'm going to try to make a sphere with an acceptable radius of 2. And also here we have a filling. That is, we have a full filling. Chess order, reverse chess, 25%. 50% of the sphere will be filled, 75%. Let's make the complete filling shorter, and also the tools fill, put, replace, clean, overlay, and also align. Let's say, put. And the installation can also be merged, attached, or inserted. Let's make an attached one. That's it. Now we will have such a sphere attached to our world. But in order for it to be built here, we need to first choose the material. How is it done? You just do the paintwork like this, let's say on the ground, and the turf is removed from you. That's it. Now you're building a sphere out of turf. That's how you can set up beautiful mounds like this. In general, yes. Let's assume a chess order and see how it will look like. That is, there is a sphere, and it turns out to be such a chess one. If we do 25% of the filling at all, then we get such an incomprehensible earth creature. In short, it is a very universal thing, and it seems to me that it will be very useful for the construction of some epic objects. Well, there was a potato with you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, put likes, write comments, click on the bell.